Friends, I want you to listen closely, because what I'm about to say is the very heartbeat of hope, the flaming declaration that will stir your soul to rise and never be the same again. Right now, in this very moment, God is on the move. If you feel stuck, if you feel beat down by the storms of life, if your heart is laden with worries and your mind trapped in doubt, hear me clearly. God is about to shift everything in your favor. This is not wishful thinking or empty comfort. This is the profound truth that shakes the heavens and makes the earth bow in awe. God's hand is not shortened that it cannot save you. His power is not diminished that He cannot deliver you from every chain, from every valley that threatens to swallow your spirit. This is the divine promise, urgent and alive, roaring through the depths of eternity straight into your life. There is coming a shift, a turning, a supernatural reversal that will break all barriers standing between you and the victory God has ordained for you. Do you feel this stirring? It is the wind of God's presence blowing into your situation, about to scatter every obstacle, about to tear down every stronghold of fear and frustration. You have endured long enough. You have prayed fervently, cried silently, even wondered if God heard your desperate cries. But believe this tonight, God has not forgotten you. Your story is not finished. Your breakthrough is not postponed. God's timing is perfect, and His plan surpasses the understanding of every human heart. The moment you have been waiting for is on the horizon, drawing near as the night yields to the dawn. This shift is not accidental. It is intentional, sovereign, and filled with divine purpose. Consider how relentless storms sometimes seem to rage against us, how dark the nights feel when the shadows deepen. Yet God's light never fails. Though the clouds cover the sun still shines behind them, ready to burst forth and illuminate the entire sky. So too, your trials are but temporary veils that God will lift with His mighty hand. He is the God of shifting circumstances, of turning what looks impossible into unmistakable victory. When you look back one day and see the valley you walked through, you will understand in a way that only faith can reveal the valley was the path for God's greater glory to move in your life. I want you to rise up with your eyes wide open, with a heart fully expectant, because God is not just rearranging things here and there. He is orchestrating a divine shift that will open doors no man can shut and close doors that must never be entered. This is the shift of divine favor, the floodgate of blessings, the miracle that defies logic and reason, because it is God Himself who moves on your behalf. You are not alone. In fact, God's eyes are running to and fro across the earth, searching for those whose hearts are fully committed, those who have not given up, those who are ready to receive His mighty deliverance. If that is you, then listen carefully. This moment demands faith. It requires that you stand firm on the promises of God, that you believe with more conviction than ever before, because what you believe will begin to form reality. You may have been betrayed, abandoned, misunderstood, and left in despair, but God's love does not fail. His love does not delay. God's love is the unshakable foundation upon which everything good is built. And when He decides to shift things in your favor, you will know it by the peace that surpasses all understanding, by the strength that rises within you that no enemy can overpower. You will see doors opening where walls stood, hear chains falling where bondage once ruled, and experience joy bubbling forth where there was once only sorrow. This is the power of God's favor. It changes destinies. It rewrites history. It ushers in a new season of hope. Remember, God's shift is often quiet before it becomes loud. It is tender before it becomes triumphant. Like the breaking of dawn that starts as a whisper of light before it bursts into brilliant day, God's work in your life begins in ways unseen but unmistakable to those who watch by faith. The waiting season is not wasted. It is the preparation ground for greatness. Every delay, every setback, every challenge is being used by God to perfect you, to refine your character, and to heighten your dependence on His unchanging power. Now listen carefully as I say this: no power in heaven or earth can stop the shift God is bringing. He is the Almighty One, the Eternal, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. No circumstance, no opposition, no past failure can stand before His majesty. If you have trusted in Him, then you can boldly declare, God has turned my mourning into dancing. He will put off my sackcloth and clothe me with joy. This is not mere poetry. It is the living reality for those who embrace the shift God is carrying out. So what must you do? Stand firm, lift up your eyes, and fix them on God who does the impossible. Strengthen your heart with faith, not fear. Declare with confidence that you will see the goodness of God in the land of the living. God is aligning circumstances, raising up helpers, pouring out wisdom and resources, all for your good. He has prepared victory in the heavens and tiptoes around the corner of your life, ready to unveil it. The shift you are praying for is also a shift within you. God will move in the depths of your soul, stirring courage where there was timidity, igniting passion where there was coldness, and rekindling hope where despair tried to set up camp. This inner transformation is the foundation for the outer blessing. You cannot receive the fullness of God's shift unless your heart is ready, unless you strip away bitterness, unforgiveness, and doubt. Choose today to embrace God's grace, to walk in obedience, to wait with patience and expectancy. When God shifts everything in your favor, it is not just fleeting luck or temporary success. You will carry the mark of divine empowerment for a lifetime. Gates that once led to dead ends will open wide toward your destiny. Your testimony will shine brilliantly to encourage others who are in the waiting room of life. You will understand that God's timing is perfect and that His love is relentless. Now hear me again, this coming shift is not just about your circumstances, it is about God revealing His unmatched glory through your life. When God moves, He moves with a purpose far beyond our understanding. He is the master weaver, threading your trials and triumphs into an intricate tapestry of divine beauty. This is the moment where despair will bow before hope, where limitation will be swallowed by boundless possibility, because God's power makes the weak strong, the small great, and the broken whole. Do you realize that no night is so dark that God cannot create day from it? No prison is so secure that God cannot break every chain and open every door. We often carry the weight of past failures and the sting of rejection, but God is about to change that narrative. He is the God who resurrects dry bones, who causes barren places to bloom, who breathes life where there was once only death. If your heart is weary, if your spirit feels crushed, know this: the God who created the stars and placed them in their courses is the very same God working on your behalf. He is a God of miracles and movement, not stagnation. When He decides to favor you, the heavens themselves will shift in alignment with His will for your life. Your breakthrough will be so profound, so undeniable, that even the forces opposing you will have to acknowledge the hand of God at work. You must be ready to receive this shift with an open and willing heart. It is not enough to hope quietly or to pray half-heartedly. God's favor demands that you rise up with boldness and courage. The Scripture declares in no uncertain terms that those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not grow weary, and they shall walk and not faint. This promise is not meant for the passive. It is for those who are purposeful, those who refuse to sink under the weight of discouragement. So prepare yourself, dear soul, to rise like an eagle, for God's favor is lifting you higher than you have ever dared to imagine. There is another dimension to this shift. God is not only realigning the external, but also transforming the internal. Your heart will be purified like gold refined by fire. Doubts that once clouded your vision will be swept away by the fierce clarity of faith. God's shift will awaken within you a hunger for righteousness, a passion for truth, and a commitment to integrity that will shine as brightly as the sun. The world around you will recognize that this change is not merely luck or coincidence, but the undeniable work of the Almighty. Your character will be a testament to His faithfulness. I urge you to cling to this truth with unwavering determination. Your past does not define your future. Your limitations do not dictate your destiny, and the failures that once haunted you will become the stepping stones to your greatest victories. God is not a God of yesterday's regrets, but of tomorrow's glory. He is already on the move to lift you above the noise, above the confusion, into a realm of divine favor and peace. He shifts not only the mountains in front of you, but also the landscape within you, bringing forth hope where there was despair, joy where there was mourning, and power where there was weakness. Listen well, for this is the day to reject the voice of doubt and to embrace the voice of divine assurance. God's timing is perfect, and His plans for you are plans of prosperity, not of harm, to give you a future and a hope. This is the time to declare a holy war against the spirit of fear that attacks your mind and tries to paralyze your faith. Stand firm on the rock of God's promises. Speak boldly that the shift is here, that it is unstoppable, irreversible, and unmatched. Your testimony will someday inspire multitudes because you dared to believe when everything around you screamed impossible. Do not underestimate the power of persistent faith. Even when the evidence seems thin, God's favor is real and active. The sun rises every morning without fail, and so does God's mercy toward you. It is new every day. With each step you take in faith, the shift grows stronger, the tides turn higher, and the impossible edges closer to your grasp. Your prayer life becomes a powerful lightning rod, attracting heaven's favor. Your acts of kindness and righteousness position you as a vessel ready to receive divine blessings. God's shift honors those who honor Him with their hearts and their lives. And remember, this divine shift is not confined by human boundaries or logic. God's hand stretches from eternity to eternity. His wisdom is beyond measure. What men declare impossible, God calls close at hand. What human hearts despair over, God declares ripe for harvest. Expect the unexpected, for God delights in confounding the proud and uplifting the humble. This is your invitation to step into the miraculous, to watch the heavens literally open on your behalf, and to witness signs and wonders as God Himself declares, "This one I favor, and I am shifting their circumstances." So rise, take courage, and fix your eyes on the author of your destiny. You are not forgotten, you are not forsaken, you are not failing. God's mighty hand is reaching down to lift you. God's voice is calling you to rise, and God's eternal power is ready to renew your strength. When you face the storm, declare that God's favor is the shield around you. When you walk into the unknown, proclaim that God's light guides your steps. You are standing on the threshold of something great, something divine, something eternal. The shift in your favor will flood your life with blessings that cannot be measured, joy that cannot be contained, and peace that surpasses all human understanding. Hold fast to this promise. It is anchored in the unchanging nature of God, the one who holds the whole universe in His hands, the one who numbers every hair on your head and marks every tear you have shed. He is about to show forth His glory through you, and the world will see that there is a God who reigns, who moves mightily, and who always causes all things to work together for the good of those who love Him. Let every part of your being awaken to this truth. When God moves to shift your life, He does so with unparalleled authority and wisdom. The winds of change that God brings are never random, never out of control. They are sovereign currents of purpose sent to carry you far beyond what you ever dared imagine. God, in infinite compassion, sees not only your needs, but the hidden cries of your soul, the dreams yet spoken, the prayers yet uttered. God knows the depths of your longing more deeply than you do. In every season of waiting, every unanswered question, it is God who is preparing you for more than a mere answer. He is preparing you for transformation. The story is far bigger than a change in fortunite. It is about the transformation of your soul, the unearthing of gifts God has buried within you for such a time as this. Listen, the shift God brings into your life is not dependent on the approval of others or the logic of circumstance. God breaks the pattern, disrupts the cycle, and sets a new course where there was none. When the world says the door is shut, God says, I am making a way even through the wilderness. His promises are not empty gestures. They are contracts sealed by His eternal word. When you choose to trust in God's shift, you step out of the shadows of fear and into the radiant field of faith, a place where the impossible bends its knee and the ordinary becomes extraordinary under God's touch. You must understand that God's favor is not earned by perfection, but received by surrender. When you lay down your fears, your pride, and your disappointments before God, you make room for miracles. Every act of humility, every quiet moment of trust is a seed that God waters and multiplies into a harvest of blessings. As you journey forward, let your prayers be bolder, your worship be deeper, your hope be brighter, for God honors those who dare to believe beyond the present reality. Even if you cannot see the full extent of God's plan, you can trust the heart that holds your future. In times of uncertainty, when you're tempted to waver, remember, God is not limited by what limits you. What seems like an ending is often the beginning of God's greatest work in your story. Stand firm in the silence, for God is always speaking, always working, always designing beauty from ashes. Learn to recognize the subtle rhythms of God's guidance. See a gentle prompt, a sudden surge of peace, a closed door that was never meant for you. These are the ways God orchestrates the shift, leading you away from what would have hindered you and toward what will fulfill you. There is a sacredness to struggle, a holiness in your longing, for it is in those places that God forges character and prepares you for greater things. Do not despise your challenges. See them as divine invitations. With every burden you release to God, you become lighter for the journey ahead. When difficulties seem unending, remind yourself it is the refiner's fire that brings forth the purest gold. God does not waste your tears. He stores them as testimony to the faith that rises in you. The shift on the horizon is birthed through these very moments of perseverance. Let each setback remind you that what lies behind pales in comparison to what God is guiding you toward. Your worth is not measured by your scars or your accolades, but by the unwavering love God lavishes upon you. When you fall short, God's mercy is greater. When you grow weary, God's strength becomes your own. When you face opposition, know that God's shield is impenetrable, guarding you through every storm. Rest in this confidence. God's shift is not just about your victory, but about His glory revealed in you. Do not let the opinions of others or past disappointments be the ceiling of your faith. God alone has the final word over your destiny. Where others see limitations, God sees opportunity. Where they see a valley, God sees the mountain rising in the distance. Stay anchored to the hope that God's hand is moving even when you cannot track it. Keep your spirit open, your mind